All right, guys. Man, welcome back. Man, it has been a pleasure. It's been a happy new year.
Yeah,
Happy New Year.
Happy
happy
New
New
Year too
Year.
as well.
Yeah.
Man, welcome back for season 2 with AI with Friends. This podcast, fellas, man, we're just a bunch of practitioners and stuff here. We're software engineers, we're cloud architect engineers, we're builders and we're doers and stuff. But most important, man, we're practitioners of artificial intelligence. And so, like I said, man, we've been doing these conversations privately,
Mm-hmm.
for quite some
Quite
time.
some time.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
quite some
Yeah.
time. And so somebody kind of threw out that deal and said, this may be valuable to the rest of the world.
I
Maybe
think
we
that
should
was you.
start. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 I got a doppelganger.
Yeah, it may have been your alter ego.
Right,
you know?
right, right. I
Yeah.
got to name them. I got to find a name to them. Yeah, we got Prime Time. Got to find a name to mine.
Oh man,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Optimist. I'm gonna call him
Right,
Optimist,
right.
man.
I like Optimus.
Optimist.
I like Optimus.
Yeah, man.
That may be the one.
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
And so, but no, man, we came together and said, we think these conversations that we're having, may be valuable to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And so we started to do this podcast.
Yeah.
And so, before we get started here, man, I'm gonna let the fellas introduce themselves. Adrian, man, let's kick it off with you.
Guys, Adrian Green, back at it. Cloud practitioner. I'm head of technology at DistroNation. Self-taught programmer. All around hacker. Out here doing the best I can do. As always. Sekou, what to you?
Yeah. Sekou Doumbouya. I've been in the industry for, I don't know, I'm losing count. I just keep saying 20 years every time someone asks me.
Yeah.
But I've been in the industry from before Linux. I can see that. I've been here before Linux.
Oh wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Before that.
Yeah.
So I started in the Unix world. So I'm still fighting infrastructure wars, trying to, keep the sites from falling over and making so it can scale. Now,
Ever since Gateway had the cow boxes.
Oh yeah, the cow
know,
boxes.
remember that?
Remember the cow
Yeah,
boxes?
I was outside with the cow boxes,
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And building for the AI future, trying to build that foundation that all this runs on, and trying to keep up with the trends and all the power usage.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's me.
Cool. And guys, again, man, I'm Marlon Avery. I am the one of 3 that's up here, host of the AI with Friends. I also too run an organization called AI Impact, where we do training, coaching for individuals, governments, nonprofits, and organizations, implementation of artificial intelligence, and then also too I run an agency, Voice Path, where we build AI voice solutions for SMBs, typically around healthcare, insurance, finance, and law. And so been building that for quite some time and stuff now. So let's hop into it, man. We did season 1.
We did a lot.
We completed.
Yeah,
we completed season 1.
Yeah.
If you guys want to check out, see on your favorite podcast platforms, on the YouTube and stuff there, and also too, you have a few clips in there on LinkedIn. But what was your guys' thoughts on season 1?
I mean, I think anyone can see how right we were. You go back and look at season 1. I'm dead serious. You can see how right we were, man. I think that we were, on the scene when a lot of AI things dropped. We made some predictions. We shared our thoughts and feelings, and I feel like for the most part, they're still valid if you go back and look at them. I may have been sometimes getting a little, doing a little bit too much, possibly, but I think for the most part, like I'm really proud of season 1 because we really, I think we were right about a lot of maybe separating. We talked yesterday, signal from the noise. Things you should be paying attention to.
Yeah.
So those are my thoughts.
Yeah. I think last season we got a chance to touch on so many different things, so many breakthroughs that happened. Last year that we were able to kind of follow those trends on. I think, we watched AI. Was it open AI? And go from a place of the fad. Oh, is this going to stick around? To something that is, we know it's permanent, and now it's just how it's going to affect our lives right now.
Yep.
So I'm really excited for what we've done last year. I feel like we were the guide to a lot of folks to get entry into into this world.
Yeah.
Be part of the discussion, bring it to more people, and break things down for them.
Yeah.
So I think that was like my great, one of those accomplishments that we did. I think my favorite tagline from last year was the AI snitching. That's it. That was my favorite.
What was it? Was it
Snitches get unplugged?
Snitches
get unplugged.
Snitches unplugged. And now, oh man, that's even more true.
Yeah.
Now.
Right.
All things going on in the safety world. So yeah,
man. For me, I was definitely. I mean, when I was excited to partner with you guys, to to kick it off. I think the next thing of it, we covered like a wide amount of topics, but still underneath the umbrella of artificial intelligence. So we talked about everything from the cyber cap. We talked about GPUs and everything. We talked about when they announced the advanced voice model from OpenAI, and so we was able to kind of like, still have the in real time discovery moment as we're practitioners and builders and stuff every day, but also to still share it, with the rest of the world, every single week. And so, yeah, man, I think it was a exciting time.
Yeah. We did so much,
and I think that's fun. It's fun for us to do that. It's been fun.
Do you remember what we was talking about when that tagline came up? The snitches get unplugged.
I think I remember. It was about there was this company that was going to be
the legal
it was HR,
the law.
Was it the HR or the one that was like doing parking tickets for you? Was that the one?
No.
Oh man,
that would be appropriate. It was this one company. I believe his name was C3. And what C3 did was they basically have a system, which is we talked a lot about in season 1, tooling really being the major thing that's going to make AI, drive AI adoption. It's going to be the tooling, really good tooling. So C3 AI had this, kind of plug and play solution that everyone's emails went through, all the communications went through, and they were able to estimate really how productive you were, and really, drill down into the supply chain in a really intuitive way. And not only that, for the salespeople, it was point now where they were lacking.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. It was we had a few moments and stuff like that. That's on the pod, but yeah, it was. And I also too, at every angle, we found a way to have a good Marvel reference
every time. Yep.
We should probably do like a catalog of all the different Marvel reference.
Yeah.
Like a wheel, just like all our favorite ones and stuff like that.
Yeah, I would like it. I would like it to be those big roster artwork where it's like the whole team. Then it'll be like the whole. We just add one other one to the board as we go along.
Yep. And then, man, with that, as we, we're closing out and stuff, season 1 and stuff there, the team, we got together and we basically, came together and said, hey, how do we make this better? How do we make this better? How do we kind of go to the next level? And so with that, if you're watching, you can kind of see a segment of it. And also too, we did a rebrand, as well. The new podcast artwork and stuff that we have. And stuff there. You see like the AI with Friends logo and stuff there in the corner and too as well. And so yeah, man, we did a rebrand and everything. And so and then the big one and stuff, we went and launched the Discord community.
Yeah.
And so if you're watching this, definitely join the Discord community. You'll see it here in the show notes and stuff. And you see the show notes stuff and stuff there, so you can join the Discord meeting. So definitely. We'll be hosting workshops.
Yep.
We'll be hosting office hours. We'll be engaging and stuff with the community. And so
really excited about that.
Yeah.
Really
Come on in.
Yeah.
Come on in.
Any questions?
Come on,
you guys have?
Ask your questions. We're
join
here
the
for it. Yeah.
That should be like join the fam.
Join the fam.
Yeah.
Join the fam.
All right. We'll put a pin in that one. I like that. Join the fam.
Yeah.
Oh, what are we gonna call them? The fam? Like the AI with friends? AI with friends, should it be?
Are they the friends? Or they could be the friends could be the listeners, but they could be the family because they're in the community.
I like that. We have the fam, they have the Barbs. Rihanna has the Navy.
Yeah. There you go.
Tyrese has the military.
Yeah, man. So definitely join the community. Stuff here. So we kind of closed season 1 to end of last year, but it's been a few weeks, man. What you guys been working on? What you been doing?
Really, I'm still on the rails that really Sekou put me on in the middle of last year, and that's doing everything that I can and having the time of my life with Replicate AI, using that platform really to the utmost.
Yeah.
I found it really easy to be creative. Those kind of late at night, how you do. Just got to get out of bed and you got an idea that really is bugging you. It keeps you up at night. That is it takes a lot of the friction.
Yeah. What I think there's a term for that I was just reading about. We call it vibe coding.
Vibe coding.
Vibe coding. Replicate. Yeah. That's
really cool.
Just you late at night with your Replicate agent, writing some code, talking to it, telling him.
Is vibe coding like the framework of the new design thinking?
I think so. Well, it's like you're implementing that design thinking into the conversation. You're integrating that to the conversation to an AI. And a lot of the SHE with Replicate is actually it's a little bit kind of tuned to work like a software engineer. Right. And that's kind of how we think when we're trying to build things. We talk about our specs and what we're actually going to build and requirements and things like that.
That's the funnest part, is making the plan sometimes, because I'll spend a lot of time just refining the plan before the before we even get going. Let's change a couple things around. And when the androids come out and I can actually put my my Replicate agent into an actual person, that's just great, man. I can't wait for that.
I want to tap on that one stuff real quick.
Robotics, the robot.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a subject for today.
Okay,
but I think it's something that it's advancing very quickly. I think we actually talked about it in season 1. Where we kind of see things headed, and even today we're going to talk about local models too as well. And I think the advancement of robotics that we're starting to see, especially with interest rates turning around, VCs are kind of getting back into the game, and when it comes to startup, there's no more expensive one than hardware. But it seems like now people are more game and excited because of the opportunity that lays in front of us. What do you guys think about the combination of robotics and local LLMs, and how they can use cases, how they can impact us? What's your guys' thoughts there?
Yeah,
I'm gonna let you go first.
Yeah, I feel like Jensen on his keynote, the CEO of NVIDIA, he talks a lot about Omniverse. Omniverse being the place where you can train your robotics before actually putting them in their robotic state, in their robotic body, right? I think that's like the big connection, being able to generate experiences and then say, all right, this is how you're supposed to walk based off of all these millions of simulations that you've gone through before even actually spending money trying to get you to actually move and things like that. That's a big piece. Now the autonomous robot, I don't know. There's so many different ways you can go with that, but this is the United States, and we are creative people. We're also strange people, right?
Yeah,
because that the first real use case for a robot is probably gonna be something that not safe for TV. So I'm just saying,
I feel like that's the scariest part. That really is the scariest and the most exciting part is the robot of it all. If we get there, it's we talk about, a lot of people are talking about the loneliness and the lack of connection that a lot of people are experiencing now more than ever. Maybe it started with like TVs even coming out, people were outside less. It's for me, as soon as Crunchyroll, you could just get that on streaming. I'm like, okay, bye. I don't need friends. I got all my anime. So I feel like it's scary because I'm looking at my son grow up. And, the neighborhood that I had with me playing kickball on the block and all that, and it's just gone. It's not really a thing anymore. No one's knocking on doors. No one's
you gotta get on Roblox.
Toilet papering houses.
I would still murder somebody in dodgeball.
Oh, you think so?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that sounds.
I would
like
murder somebody in dodgeball.
Yeah.
If I walk outside right now, somebody hands me a ball, so let's get it. Oh,
yeah. I'm running.
Mamba mentality.
Even the way you're looking at me right now, I'm running. I'm running. I'm like, dodging, duck, dodge, dip.
I think so. My mind goes to, I think, history finds a way to repeat itself, even if it's in different lanes and different levels. So my mind goes to the benefit that we saw with things like Uber Eats, DoorDash, and things like that. And so the benefit of that was the saving of time. The saving of time, and for example, a mom of four, dad works full time. He's typically home 6, 7. And mom has to get, 3 of the kids to 3 different practices.
Yep.
And, then she has to go grocery shop, with 4 kids going to the grocery store, which, a lot of times can be a nightmare. But that what Uber Eats and DoorDash and these platforms give her the ability to do was order online and have it delivered to her. So when she gets to the house, she's kind of picking up the groceries and taking them in the house and putting on stuff from there. I mirror that and say, I think one of the early versions, when it has the capabilities and understanding how to do so, robotics will be the ones that can be at the home to save time.
Yeah.
And so, understanding how to clean bathrooms, understanding how to do dishes or put them in a dishwasher, mop the floors, things like that. So we have a version of that with like the iRobot vacuum cleaners.
Yep.
Everything, how you can put it on a timer and things like that.
And the pool cleaners too.
Yeah, and the pool cleaner, the lawn, they got lawn mowers, things like that.
Oh my God, did you guys ever see that Love, Death, and Robots about that pool cleaner?
No.
Did you ever see that?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's pretty good. That's
I'll check it out.
Great stuff.
But I think that's where we're going to see, because we live still in a capitalistic environment, and there is no larger monetary value than time. And I think what businesses want to try to figure out is how to implement that time, and stuff with it. And I think for the household, that'll be one of the use cases that we'll start to see, arise. That will basically look to help save Americans time, because I don't care. At least for me, I haven't met anybody who enjoys cleaning the bathroom.
No,
it's a necessity. You got to do it and everything.
It's never fun
and everything. But if you can hand it off, for X amount of dollars plus, I can already tell right now it's probably a monthly subscription or something.
I would be.
I hope we talk about that a lot, about how AI's role in our life right now is the things that we don't like to do, the things that are just stupid. We kind of have to do them in order to kind of survive and get through things. How that is the place where AI is going to show up and augment first.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That is where the businesses are going to be created. Right. So I think you're right on.
Yeah.
Here's a question. Can you imagine yourself fighting for your robot? We'll give you a scenario. Send your robot to the store, comes back, it's got marker all over him. Someone's thrown, he's got like vandalized. Who did this to you?
Absolutely.
I think I would too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because also too, like an early model is probably going to run you like 30 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, because if my robot takes my Tesla to Target, to pick up groceries and everything, watch this. You remember, and I know you definitely remember because you're in Cali and everything. People were vandalizing Teslas.
That's right.
Oh,
that's right.
People vandalize Teslas, going to scratch them, puncture the tires, and things like that.
Oh my God.
And that itself virtually is a robot.
Basically.
Everything.
That's a perfect example.
And so I got a problem. Because I spent a lot of money and stuff on that, to help my life, everything.
Yeah.
And what I do and support my family.
Yeah.
And you want to take your personal vendetta, on what
you know what I'm saying? They got nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
And that's I guess you're talking about more on the property end. Like this is someone vandalized.
I mean, kind of, but
I think what you're getting on is more of a sentimental
thing too.
It's like
because I would want to get a Debo robot just to fight for the, you know what I mean? Or a mech suit just to,
who wants on?
He comes out like, what was that? Those commercials with the guy, the football player used to tackle the office.
You gotta get Terry Tate.
Yeah,
Terry Tate.
I would look at the protection of my, humanoid, robot, whatever you want to call it. I look at the same areas like a Tesla. Like I don't want, my car vandalized because a tweet from Elon pissed you off.
Yeah.
Everything. Now you're taking it out on somebody's personal property. And everything.
That's the audacity.
Yeah,
we got a real problem.
Yeah. So everything. And I definitely see a world too that I can see insurance companies open up a new lane for robots.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, Apple Care. You already got it.
Probably got liability on this robot.
Get your Best Buy protection policy. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, here we go, man. Let's dive into it. OpenAI, our favorite compadres and stuff over there. They're always doing some new stuff. We'll call it. We'll do some new stuff. Here we go. OpenAI has released Deep Research, computer using agents and personalized AI. So Deep Research is a new AI tool that conducts in-depth research and synthesizes information for multiple online sources. Online for personal use, it produces reports comparable to human analysis, and however experts stress the needs for human verification to ensure accuracy. And the computer using agents, it says OpenAI is testing an AI agent capable of autonomously navigating digital environments using standard browser controls like cursor and a mouse, and it can book flights or complete online transactions. And then we got personalized AI. It says OpenAI envisions AI that adapts to the individual users, allowing for more tailored actions. Unlike social media algorithms, the customization focuses on productivity and learning rather than driving engagement through controversial content. Fellas, thoughts?
I'm gonna let Sekou dive in because I haven't had a chance to look into it. But you hit the ground running this morning.
I started. I was using OpenAI Deep Research, and that is useful. I can see how that's going to affect research in the long term for a lot of folks. Like, usually, like even for our show, to do prep for the show, we go to different articles, we look at different trends, different sites. You have your sites, I have my sites.
Yeah.
We kind of we just collaborate back and forth until we kind of get somewhere. And Deep Research goes so far; it hits so many sites and correlates so much information for you. Know what I was surprised about is when you're using Deep Research and you go and you type in what you want. The first thing it does, it like provides you a menu to kind of hone in on what you're looking for. It does it every single time.
Interesting.
Before
like
it actually
menu,
does
like what are you going to use this information for? Or
what do you use it for? How can I tailor the actual search I'm going to do for you? It's almost like helping to optimize me for it, which is interesting.
Ooh,
right?
Yeah.
And then when you do the search, it goes to this process of like it goes to all of the different sites, and it's slow. It's not, you're not going to go on deep research and think you're going to like Google just searching for things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You go and you type it in, and it can take like 2 minutes for it to complete a cycle of going to your site. But at the same time, a little window pops up on the right hand side,
like a Canva.
And you can kind of just see it kind of going through the different sites, looking at information, and in the actual progress bar, it's like showing you its reasoning. So supposedly this is supposed to be connected to their new model that they're coming out with, which is the O3 model. So this is what it's supposed to represent. This, slower.
O3 mini is different from O3.
Yeah, it's different from the mini one that they just released. O3 is the actual full model, which is supposed to be a higher level of reasoning and things like that.
Which is not released yet.
Not released yet. Okay. Yeah, which they believe is actually within this framework. But oh man, it's great. I'm having a good time with it.
Talk about what you mentioned, that what it does with the sites. And how it's checking for like the sites.
So this is one thing that came up for me. I was looking at it, going through this reasoning, and it was saying that it says that it is dealing with the nuances of LLM searching sites, which is, some sites, if you're coming from a user agent is like when you go to a website, your browser tells the website like what browser you're using and what type of system you're using, whether you're a Mac, whether you're a PC, and things like that.
Right.
In case of OpenAI, their user agent says that I'm OpenAI. And what people do is they say, I don't want OpenAI coming to my stuff.
Yeah.
And they block you.
So they block it. Yeah.
So, it doesn't explicitly say it, but like if it's dealing with the nuances, does that mean it's changing user agent? Is it pretending to be something else?
Yeah.
And still getting its information?
Is it in shiesty mode?
Yeah. Yeah. Is it like, becoming like an undercover?
I think they all do when it comes to that. I just upgraded. We're gonna talk about this later, but I just upgraded anything LLM to the latest version. The scraping is way better, and sites that I couldn't scrape before now they work.
Also, too, the scraping part is not new.
Yeah, it's not new.
Yeah, this is not new. The ability to be able to change your browser, your IP, and additional proxy and stuff around it. Yeah, that part is not new.
Do you see like future regulation around that?
I mean, it's starting.
Yeah, where like you can't do that,
Yeah, I mean, it's the definition of regulation now is just websites saying like, hey, this is not okay.
Yeah, here.
Particularly with their domain and everything. And so, I get it too. That's their IP, and stuff in a lot of areas. I think my question around a lot of those, there's one particular platform. I think I mentioned it yesterday. I won't say it now, but one platform that scraped the internet for their information they have on their site. And they said this is strictly forbidding for you guys to scrape our website. But the way you got your data was by scraping other people's website.
Yeah.
But you don't want it to happen, to you, that type of thing. And so yeah.
The hypocrisy of it all.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Adrian, what's your thoughts?
I mean, I think I haven't used it yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to use it. So I think I can't really speak too much about it. I'm interested to see really the future, because I really do envision a time where, like we mentioned before, that this being kind of the Wild West period,
right?
But there's not a lot of regulation, and really, a lot of things are underpriced. Like it's real cheap to get on the AI train now, in some ways. But I'm interested to see if in the future there is more friction when it comes to the ability to do things like deep research on the federal level. Like if you're a US company, like you have to like abide by these standards to where you're not able to do, or you have to have some kind of agreement or deal with the specific websites from which you source information from.
Yeah.
Because if without that, you're gonna run into the same issues over and over again about really the ownership of IP.
Yeah. I think right now what they're doing is, I would say that there's like it's not really a buried, I guess it is a buried entry right now because it's locked behind the pro package, right?
Yeah.
And the $200 a month
It's like, dang. Yeah.
is enough for like
barrier.
It's a barrier. It's a
Yeah,
barrier.
it's
So
something.
normal folks are not going to be able to get in there and play around with that. Although there's a little trick, if you ever known, if you get pro.
No, should we save this for the Patreon?
Oh yeah, you know what?
It may be
if you drop into our Discord and ask about the tips on how to save money on pro, I'll personally jump in there and let you know.
We got you. Boom.
Yeah.
There you go. Everything. Yeah. My thoughts. So the computer using agents, is a direct competitor to Anthropic's
computer use.
Computer use. And so,
have you experimented with that yet?
Not on Anthropics.
Okay.
Not on Anthropics. I did like one or so tasks or anything with the computer using agents up here, but also too, I build very basic things, for myself like a few months ago.
Yeah.
So I can get understanding how it works. And I think that's going to be a big one, because, Google demoed it at Google I/O, and then it came back. Then it's like, oh, it doesn't work right now. Classic, classic Google.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also too, remember what was the model? What was a platform like a while ago that they was claiming that they could do 20 tasks from one prompt? It was
what's an Auto GPT?
Yeah, Auto GPT.
Auto GPT.
Yeah. And so then when you got in it, you start using it, you like
stop.
It's not doing everything, because it was like, oh, I can book a flight and everything, and it was like, oh, all right, I'm about to book the flight and everything. It ain't actually for a login. It has no money assigned to it.
Oh, you're thinking of was it Rabbit and Q?
No, it was Auto GPT.
Oh yeah.
It was Auto GPT. Everything, and so they were thinking in the right direction, just didn't have the structure and implementation and stuff there.
So, oddly enough, the implementation that OpenAI went with for their computer use kind of looks a little bit like this, right? At least for the RabbitMQ version of it, which they were opening up a browser that was sitting on a virtual machine. You had to like sign in with your Spotify or whatever if you wanted to access Spotify or whatever service was. You had to go and sign into it. It's a computer that's not yours. It's sitting somewhere in the cloud that has your credentials.
Yep.
All right. And then after that, it can do some things for you. It could like maybe like try to book a flight or do some things, right? Of course, it was not great. So OpenAI is taking a step further. They're actually doing almost exactly the same thing, but instead of
giving cloud computer, you're saying
the cloud computer,
okay,
yeah, it is a virtual browser that they're pulling out for you, and you still have to sign in because authentication is still not fixed within there. You can't just pass your authentication through to this magical browser. You have to go and log in, and then it can do things for you. But it's just so much more accurate than any of the other implementations that are out there, and it actually can get a process done from 0 to 100, which is, it's crazy.
Let me highlight that real quick. What you just said. This is the exact reason I mentioned. I had a clip that went viral, I think last year or something, where I was talking about if you're a startup and you're just simply making API calls from OpenAI, whatever, if you build your solution, your service, you're making a big mistake because of things like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you had a platform like AutoGPT, they're essentially making API calls and saying they can do these things and whatever. Call it business, call it stealthy, call it greed, whatever you want to be. A company like OpenAI is still reading those API calls to figure out where volume is happening, particularly in the area, if you're doing this just to build your service and your service alone, and you don't have a customer base, around it or loyalty base, you're making a big mistake.
Yeah. But the minute that you get that customer base, they're going to see the increase in traffic as well. And then they're going to, it's going to incentivize them.
They can duplicate it. Everything, so they can duplicate it and, and stuff. And so, I mean, I think we're living a world and stuff now. But I think startups have a lot of leverage right now, particularly to, get a hold of, SMBs and, because you still have the NVIDIAs and the OpenAIs who are focused on the enterprise, scale. And so I think startup stuff have a lot of opportunity and stuff right now, but you better get creative and you got to go deep. If you're building level 1 applications and everything, eventually you'll be wiped out. And we saw this already with, Facebook, Twitter, when they had their open APIs. Remember, there was like whole games and businesses
built around that
Twitter API.
Twitter deck. Twitter deck.
Twitter deck.
I think it's great. It's just
awesome.
gone overnight.
Boom.
Yeah.
And so my concern, particularly with the startup community, is that we're making those mistakes and stuff all over again. And even now with us as being the practitioners, I can get into a product, get into a service, do 2 things, and I can tell if this is a wrapper around opening API or if you've actually built some infrastructure and stuff here. And if it's a wrapper, I'm not paying for it because more like I can build the shit myself. Everything, unless it's saving a lot of time. And everything. I think a good example of that, I think a company who's done well of going deep in this is like Opus Clips.
For
sure. I think Opus has done a good job of going
That's a great
deep,
example.
And stuff. Opus, if you want to sponsor the podcast, you can call. But I mean, Opus Clips has definitely done a good job. But a lot of the other tools and services is just kind of taking advantage of the hype. And stuff right now.
And the venture capitalists may be hip too. To that part of it, because RabbitMQ may have been one of the last ones to get in with that.
And there's still, I think companies still need to kind of like update themselves to actual real agent model that folks are trying to vision. You're going to hear more about that the rest of the year. Everything is going to be agent this, agent that.
Right.
But what we're seeing is folks are trying to build agentic businesses that are still wrapped in a SaaS model. The SaaS model is about allowing you to use my resources and locking you into that room so you cannot get out, and that your data belongs to me. And if you would like it back, like you either have to start over,
right,
or you have to keep paying me. And that model I think is going. That's why I like. Actually, I still like Anthropic's version of computer use. Because their computer use, it actually does technically is using your computer. As scary as that sound, that it's actually like using your infrastructure. Although it's pressing buttons, it's still the actual information still stays in your world.
Right.
You're providing pictures, right? There's still some, things connected to that itself, but it's not going to a custom database. It's not going to a custom browser cache that you have no access to that they have access to now, right?
Yeah. So if you use computer use, like, would you trust computer use to like Book of Light?
No.
Yeah. Not yet.
But there are other tasks I would trust to do, right? Like, I don't know. I want to have it move files around in my system. That's one.
That's a really good one.
Yeah, but
especially like in the CLI.
Yeah, definitely not in the CLI. Yeah. But maybe go through and install a bunch of plugins that I want to install on my VS Code, or set up my system in a very particular way. We'll set up a virtual machine the way I want it. Something that put it in the bounds of something that I can kind of trust and like throw away. Like that's where I'm at right now. Maybe later this year I probably will be a very different person. They just yellowing it on my computer. So
I think one of the things and one of the issues that's happening right now, potentially in this agentic universe that we're fast tracking towards, is companies, industries are focused on building agents without agent infrastructure. Like you're just focused on building an agent, but you're not focused on building the agent infrastructure and stuff of it. And so I think a lot of companies need to start to rethink and take a step back, because the agent infrastructure is going to look very similar to a RAG application, and then the agent itself will live on top of that. To understand to do tasks and things like that. But the agent infrastructure also too will also have to be built on. We talked about this a while ago. It will have to make sure it has a proper streamlined communication to many of agents, as well.
Agents, yeah.
And so the agent and the understanding to navigate browser, to go book a flight, should also not be the same agent that processes the financial side of it.
And that gives me more trust. Right there. That gives me more trust knowing that it's tuned just for that one purpose and it's good. And that's not gonna, I can't ask it health advice or something like that.
Right.
Like that gives me a lot more comfort.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you got to build the infrastructure, the media agent framework, and then fine tune the agents.
Yeah.
And I think just people are just trying to look to do the agents.
I want to take it one step further, right? I think that the end device for it to operate on is not in the cloud. People who are building the agents to run an agentic way in a cloud somewhere within a SaaS type model or things like that, I feel like that is going to be on its way. That's my prediction. That's my January prediction. We'll see how we end at the end of this year, whether I'm right.
So what's the alternative?
On device.
We're going
to talk about that later, agents, small agents that can do singular tasks that run on device where people can just turn off their laptop.
With small models.
Small models.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
I think, I'm a +1 that idea.
Yeah, me too.
That prediction.
Right, if it happens, I'm still in this. I made it up. What? I don't remember the episode. All right, here we go. DeepSeek, the hot topic, the new boys in town. We'll see if they stick around. Said DeepSeek's R1 approach to AI safety and how it differs from OpenAI models is heavily being discussed. Discuss whether it is prioritizing safety effects or innovation speed and how this aligns or everything. And so we got a couple things here. They got the Anything LLM. It says a tool designed to enable businesses and developers to deploy lightweight AI models. And then underneath that too as well, you got the rise of local LLMs or everything, particularly like for like Apple MLX, which is like running AI models on personalized device, like we just talked about, which is the kind of gaining traction and stuff there. So with the combination of DeepSeek and rise of LLMs, Adrian, man, we'll start off with you. What's your thoughts and stuff over here?
Remember when the Apple Vision Pro came out and we saw
I'm still jealous you got one too.
Yeah, which I saw. Yeah. Apple Vision Pro came out. We were on the pod and we were talking about Zuckerberg's post. That
it's salty,
emotional,
so salty.
He had clearly cried into that pillow.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, they can do the same thing.
We're just as good. We're just as good.
Mom.
I feel like Sam Altman right now has lost a little bit of his sheen from that because it had a real impact on the stock market here and this moat that was that OpenAI was purported to have. It kind of really a lot of the stuff has been delegitimized later. I think now that the fallout, there's been more time. But for that brief period of time, it's still impactful. We talked before about Llama's and Meta's approach and just what it was doing to, why were they open sourcing their models like that? What was the reasoning behind it? And what we said was to just really flatten the market, like really flatten, bring down the price and lower the overall valuation. of a company like OpenAI.
Mm.
You know, I'm going to release this model for free. It's, you know, almost as good. It's good enough for you. You know, so that drives the price down. You know, so it's warfare a little bit. You know,
Yeah.
So, you know, with DeepSeek, you got to be thinking about safety, you know, and security as well. So, you know, when you're experimenting with DeepSeek, and you know, this is how it goes into the conversation of. Thank you. Wait, we're done. Oh, sorry. All right. The conversation of running models locally on your computer. You know, if that's the biggest, you know, argument, really. I'm sorry. That's why, you know, running models locally is a part of the same conversation when it comes to DeepSeek. It's for the security implications around it. And, you know, we also, on the topic of local models, I'm a huge fan of anything LLM. And, you know, that's kind of a different topic, like a different side of this. But I found that I use anything LLM more than I use any direct cloud AI solutions. You know, besides really maybe my Copilot solutions and whatever IDE I'm using.
Yeah.
But besides that, I go to my you know, computer, open up anything LLM. The things that I research are stored in my vector database, you know, and it's referenceable later. And
what's some of the benefit you've seen, like doing it, that strategy?
Is just I can have the more information that I add to it, I can have more rich summarizations. So if I say, there was an art, if I ask it to summarize the articles from 3 months ago around a certain topic, it's pretty spot on.
Yeah,
it's pretty accurate, and you can't really achieve that through the context window of ChatGPT. It's too large.
Yeah.
So when you use the external vector database store, it's like, you know,
is it too large, or is the memory too short?
Oh, the memory's too short.
Yeah.
You know, so the chat is too large to really, it's going to hallucinate more than be beneficial.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think we found some new things too on anything LM.
Yeah, we did
too. Yeah.
And that was where I actually got it. My first computer use experience, which was strange. That was a little bit strange for me, because that felt like I'm the IT guy, right? So I make you move. You know, I'm the one that's here to fix your computer. You know, I'm not really that cool with just something else taking over my computer. And it really felt a little bit, I mean, not violating, but I don't know.
Who do you think you are?
Kind of audacious.
You know who I am.
You know,
how dare you move that?
Yeah. You know. So, yeah. But at the same time, it was great, and it was accurate, and it did what I told it to do. So
yeah, and you know what I think, the way that Anthropic ships their computer use, it's like a skill that it can use, but it's not in the product. The only way to use computer use is to wrap it in something like anything LM, or build something on top of it. Anything LM is just prepackaged. And we talked about this last year about the tools and how important tools were to the story of how like LLMs and like that are going to be used. And every time I think that the bar has been kind of lowered to a point where more folks can access, it gets smaller and smaller. You know, but yeah, it's great. It's great. Yeah.
If the future is local models, open source, even with the discrepancy of like what's came out lately, do you guys see DeepSeek sticking around?
Yeah. So DeepSeek did something interesting, right? It's not really. It's the fact that they said it was built on like $5 billion, which has been already disproven. $5 billion is not what's built on. It sounds like it was like distilled from O1. And for folks who don't know what distillation process is when you take a model that's very, very smart. That costs lots and lots of money. You have it teach another model on how to do things, and you tell it to only take in maybe just the good parameters from that. It makes it so that another model is smaller, cheaper to run, can have less parameters, and you can also tune it for different things, like in their case, deep sea. If you go and you ask it like what happened in 10 Minute Square, like it will show you how censored it is.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But that process that they did for distilling it, like, because they kind of cheated and got that information from OpenAI, they're probably the only model out there that has that level of intelligence. And that's probably going to be like that until OpenAI actually open source their actual product. So the models are getting, there are actual models now that are getting distilled from DeepSeek, and this is where it's getting interesting for the folks that are doing local LM work or trying to make LLMs run on their machines, because just like how they did it and they made it cheaper, with $5 billion, folks have actually distilled it down to even smaller models. Models so small that they can run on a laptop. Models so small that they can run on a Raspberry Pi.
Ew.
Folks are running it. Yes, they're running. There's a 0.5 billion parameter DeepSeek model that runs on a Raspberry Pi.
That's wow.
It's crazy. It's not like the token performance isn't amazing, right?
Yeah,
but like, just a couple more. You can see where we are with the advancements and things like that. So,
could you see it like? Because I know Raspberry Pi. The first thing when I just heard that, now I'm like, okay, surveillance state. So you think it's if a model is running locally on a Raspberry Pi, that can be used to analyze video. You get a camera hooked up to it, analyze video in like a kind of quick real-time way.
You still need cloud on the video side too.
Yeah, would that happen locally?
So you can I have a local model right now on my Mac that can do video. It can do video. It can do images, things like that. I can tell it to give me an image in the style of studio. What's the one? I don't know. It starts with G.
Studio Ghibli.
Mappa. Studio Ghibli.
Yeah.
I can tell it to do it in a style of that, and it will do that. It takes a little bit of time, but it will do it, and it doesn't.
Wait, I'm sorry. Are we talking about generation of video,
or
we're talking about
analysis? Like video analysis.
Oh, analysis. Yeah, you can do that. You can.
Yeah.
Yes, you can do that.
So on a local without internet access.
Without internet access, yes, you can do analysis of a video. You can do a video to text. You can do a text to video, both ways. Now this is the challenge, right? It's because there's limited amount of memory on these machines.
That's what I'm getting at.
But this is where we talked about having models that are distilled and fine-tuned to do one thing. One thing well, you can get a lot out of it.
So that's why in my head, my mind immediately went to like smart glasses, and everything. And you're in so many different frameworks of the world where you may be inside your office building, and then you're at Chipotle, and you're asking your model to give you the restaurant menu or break it down where it be. In my mind, that's where my mind headed, because I'm like, you're gonna have to be connected to a cloud because you're in different environments doing multiple different things, not one. And that's why I was like, oh, you're gonna have to be immediately gonna be connected to a cloud. But if you have some glasses where you want to measure the distance between the camera and like in a podcast segment repeatedly, local anything, and stuff. So I think the other topic that we have in here is on like local LM, specifically with Apple Silicon, which is, I think this is a huge advancement that's kind of happening. Like Apple put out a compiler for like a comparable to transformers, which we use for executing models, running training and things like that, called MLX, which is designed specifically for Apple Silicon.
the interesting thing is it's not just it allows you to run models in a more performant way and take advantage of all the, the architecture of these laptops. But now you can actually do a pretty good job of tuning. You can take a 7 billion parameter model and do tuning on your Mac laptop. And it'll take about 10 minutes to do. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Now this is stuff that you could only do before, and in the cloud somewhere on a bunch of H100s and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now we're getting a taste of that down here. It's just going to get better. They're coming out with new ways of creating neural networks and things like that.
Yeah,
they're more optimized for this type of smaller hardware and things like that. They're not just optimized for NVIDIA. So I think there's a lot of things that came out as DeepSeek. That's one of the reasons why the stock dropped as soon as it came out, because the cat's out the bag that, hey, other folks can do this. And now as soon as it gets into the hobbyist hands, you're going to start seeing advances. You're going to start seeing more industries. You start seeing more tools. Yeah. Because not everyday folks. I want to say that these are everyday folks, but it's brought down another level of accessibility. Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right.
You see, I'm excited about local else.
Yeah. Yeah, you were explaining that to me earlier. It was like it's really fascinating. You try to learn really as much as you can, but when you were talking about just how the chips are manufactured and the reason why it is what it is with the ability, everything, the memory being included, integrated on the chip.
Yeah,
how the importance of that. Yeah, it's really fascinating.
Yeah.
So here we go. Next up. Segment is AI first government, and so it says the government now is starting to switch up a AI first approach into a lot of policy integration. So the strategy includes integrating AI into government operations, restructuring departments, and even offering buyouts to federal employees, if they would like to not come back to work. While this move could streamline process and reduce costs, concerns have been raised about excessive centralization of power and job displacement, leading to lawsuits and protests. Guys, what you guys thoughts and stuff over here in an AI first government?
Yeah, protests are happening already in San Francisco. There's protests happening around this. It's, I don't know. We're in the first 100 days right now of this new term.
Already tired.
Already tired, right? I don't know. Anyone who's actually worked in government and to not the Pentagon or these places, but like the DMV. Anyone who's been to a DMV, the dungeon, like there's so many processes within that are just made. They are made to be slow. They are made not to be optimized on purpose.
Yeah.
I told my son that. I said it's slow in here for a reason.
I was told that government are intentionally slow to advance because if they keep the technology where it is, streamlined over time, slow period of time, they will always have access to a workforce.
That's true. That's true.
That's interesting.
The government subsidizes in many ways, right? They don't just give you money or loans or things like that. But the fact that the government is technically the largest employer.
Yeah.
Right. In the United States. The fact that they're not always jobs, but there's a large amount of jobs means that they control a lot of the unemployment that could possibly happen. And the fact that we're trying to push, the AI first things I don't know. We have to see how successful it gets. I can see it being useful and getting some traction in some parts of the government.
Yeah.
But I don't know how realistic it is to think that there's going to be a transformation overnight. There's an industry, and if you where to grade different industries on speed of adoption, let's see, we have there's universities. Universities are let's say private sector's fastest, right?
Yeah.
But most private sectors fastest. Universities would go after them, right?
Mm-hmm.
After that would be, say, hospitals, right? Doctors' offices. No, actually, yeah. Then lawyers. Legal was very, very slow, right? And at the bottom of the rung is like government.
Yeah.
They, there's still things that have to be faxed. There's still things that cannot happen. There's still things that if you work at a remote DMV center, or a title company or something like that, you still have to have a fax machine.
That's wild.
It's still important. You cannot do it.
That's crazy.
I remember. It was something. It was something at my local, municipal. I had to pay for something. I don't remember what it was. It was like it wasn't like a ticket or something. I don't remember what it was, but it was like a 5% processing fee. Yeah, and I was ready to fight.
Yeah.
Like
I've screamed at a DMV before.
I'm like, come on, like, and there's like a 5% processing fee and everything. So, I enjoy the automation of operations. This is what I host workshops on. I build solutions and stuff for, because I think when it comes to efficiency, for the consumer, there's a lot of opportunity, and stuff there. And so, if we're talking about streamlining, going back to your example, aspects of the DMV, I'm open to it. I'm open to it.
I'll do
anything. Huh?
Yeah. I can understand that.
I'm open to it and everything.
Yeah.
I won't say I agree with the takeover strategy.
Yeah.
But I also kind of get it. And everything as well, because it's like typically, particularly in those industries that you mentioned, it's very hard to do a slow growth, and everything. It's almost like the shock that get people to like, oh, okay, what? Oh man, so I need to start. All right,
like
cool.
A changeover.
Things
running parallel.
Yeah. And so it's that initial shock
yeah,
that can change human behavior or get people focused or reback focus and everything. And it's like, I think that is kind of what's happening. It's like it's that shock and everything. And so if you don't like the shock, here's your buyout option. And so everything. And I think what's going to happen is the people who say, like, hey, I'll figure it out. Those people also will be, we talked about this, will be assigned agents, AI assistants to help them do their job in efficiency, everything, to automate, a lot of these operations, as well. Yeah. So I think a sector of the government will still become, still like the largest and still be like the largest employer, everything. But I can see the benefit when you're talking about, think about how many times have you guys looked at your light bill and like, wait, what is that?
Yeah.
What is that? What's even that cost?
Yeah.
And everything. And so, and then you call somebody to get them to explain to you everything. Like, yeah, we just add that, fee because of, Airbnb. You can't even necessarily like break it down to me. And
that's light congestion pricing.
Right. And so those things that impacts the everyday Americans, that, I mean, I can imagine you just mentioned your experience in DMV. It's like you have PTSD.
Yeah.
I'm just even thinking about going to
they
DMV.
have, thankfully they have PTSD now too.
Yeah. So you got PTSD of like even think about going to the DMV because of how slow and just not with the times the operations is.
Yeah.
And everything. And like I said, I may not agree with the strategy, but I think the outcome could still benefit the everyday American.
So here's my take. It's like, I feel like I talked already, but this is like, it just feels like it's so close to home to me. There's this weird thing that's happening right now where the idea, the way that things are done in Silicon Valley is the way that the rest of the world needs to move. And I think that's what I think
what I was gonna say.
I think that is the wrong approach, because yes, there have been a lot of great successful companies, that have built wonderful things that have helped us. But there are so many more trash companies that are out there. And whether it's, they said, trying to make things more lean and agile, like anyone who's done agile or done those processes will tell you, like, no, that's not. Yeah, we don't like it's
trying to get a t-shirt size in the government operations is going to be interesting.
Oh man. But in the government, the reason why I think government and medical are slow, it's knowing it is like, there's some places like it's excessive, right? But we want those industries to be 100% correct when they do things.
Yep.
So if it takes you extra time to do it, and you're going to give me a 100% correct outcome, that's worth it. Especially like medical, definitely. Like I worked in medical technology, where someone writing some bad code could affect whether oxygen machines actually will give you the right information, right? Like there are real consequences to things. And one of the reasons I think on like the DMV, I don't want to be the defender of DMV. It's not my role.
You're starting to sound like a cop here.
Yeah. But the reason why things are slow, a lot of times you talk to folks in the government who work in, more of the administration side of things, is the control cost. Now, if AI can help reduce costs while keeping things correct, all for it. Yeah. But right now, that's why I feel like we're so early in this process. You want to insert this, like, you're still putting banners to say, hey, don't trust this because it can be incorrect and lead you astray, right? Yep. So I think that's the challenge right now. It's kind of like there's this balancing act that we want. I think right now the scorched earth, the Twitter approach. There are so many people I know that have worked at Twitter that scarred from that process, and now it's about to go. X is about to go under.
Yeah,
like we don't want to use them as example. So, let's use the fact that we want to like improve people's lives as a thing, right?
I'm gonna disagree. With the speed aspect. I think you can take your time in government. I don't think you have the opportunity a lot of times to take your time in medical. Because now what impacts that is save of life, solutions. One can throw out vaccines, things like that. I think there's an area of taking your time to do it right, but there's still a sense of urgency that still needs to happen, and stuff with that. Yeah. And so, for example, having the voice agent, that we built for the neurologist's office, they're at a 45% call rate. We got them to like a 92 and stuff now. And that's just a voice agent that's answering a phone. And one may like, oh, that's cool. Everything's answering the phone, but it's a neurologist's office. We're talking about now, you probably could save somebody's life because the voice agent has a capability of understanding that this person's speech is being slurred. They're actually talking very slow. The increase of slurring in their speech is increasing. I'm going to refer them to 911.
That's good. That's good.
And so that type of operation and efficiency, and this is going back to, I also don't think that when it comes to speed, it should be a government-led entity. It should probably be startups.
Well, that's what it's going to be.
Nah.
Yeah, it should be startups. It should be middle-sized businesses that are building some of these operational components, because those, you can move with speed in some area, but you'll still have your frameworks of being HIPAA compliant, things like that you got to follow, to kind of get an output and stuff in there.
I would agree with you that there are, like I said, there's good. There's so much good that have come out of startups. And like the things that you're talking about is a great example of that. But for every good one, there's like a lot of bad out there. We talk about these guys a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And this is why I actually think enterprise is probably more of a better spot for this, as opposed to folks who actually have more to lose if things fail. They have a reputation that will be impacted if there are downward consequences.
Yes.
Like the folks that are in there doing things right now, I feel like they have no care about their reputation.
Mm-hmm.
Right. There are no consequences
but they got to care about cost of life
to a certain extent.
Do they?
No. Look, cost of life to themselves. If you lose that contract or anything, your salary is gone in a startup format.
Yeah.
And so now you're unemployed.
Yeah.
Versus like for the enterprise example, you could lose that one, but you have 7 others that is, keep you afloat. And then too, not to mention, if you have relationships, now you're talking about potential buyout or help and everything from the government that can kind of help you restructure.
Maybe the better way to clarify it is like you have to go through some process of vetting and validation that who you are. You cannot just be, hey, I brought in a couple of 19 to 20-year-olds to do a bunch of things because they're super smart people, and we're just gonna scorch earth things.
Yep.
You have to have something that like is proven and some validation. Now, running one of the most successful, autonomous car companies in the world that's good validation, right?
Yeah.
Running
successful startups.
Successful startups. That's definitely a good validation point. But like, I cringe when I think about everyone, all the different startups I interact with, having their hand in there and just
hand out.
Yeah.
So because that's what I think about it. When I look at this initiative, I think of it as a complete smoke and mirror money transfer, because when it's the language that they're using. Now, what I mean is we're going to run this like a startup, right? So we have this $500 billion initiative. That means that we have maybe companies, friends and family lined up that are going to start companies that we're going to contract to do this AI within these companies. Do I have the trust in them? Or I'm sorry, not within these companies, within the government. So AI automation within the government, these are going to be contracts awarded to individuals.
Yeah.
They're going to be people who are, because we know the way that this administration works, are going to be loyal to Broham.
Actually, you had to like do some bidding or something like that for things related to the government.
Yeah,
right?
I've done government contracting and stuff like that. I won a bid with the city of Miami.
Yep, and further with that.
Yeah, so
I don't trust. No, it's a little bit more. I don't trust that it's going to make things guaranteed more efficient, because the application of AI, we've had really our elections corrupted by a foreign entity due to over reliance on AI. We just had a CEO capaled by the other Mario brother because of AI, right? Hey, what have we learned? Are we going to keep letting these bozos come in here and say AI is we're going to insert AI here and it's going to make things better? Because the cost, you mentioned before, the cost of their life. Yeah, the cost of their life, it could be, because if you mess around with, people's social security, their ability to, really
that's actually
the kind of their needs in life,
Yeah, it's definitely a risk. There's definitely a risk in here for the folks that are in the startup world.
So watch this.
Yeah.
I've worked at, I'm pretty sure you've worked at, I've experienced, I've contracted with, well-known companies and everything who have no fucking clue what they're doing.
Oh,
They have no clue what they're doing. Everything. And I'm gonna call out one because I still don't like the way they handle some things. MailChimp, everything, or what Intuit, everything. They laid off. There was like 12% of the workforce, and everything, because they said that they didn't understand how to implement, how to build, AI, infrastructure and solutions and shit like that. Everything. Who the fuck job is that? That's your job to train them. Everything. Everybody's figuring this out in real time. Everybody's figuring this out, and I had the privilege of being or listening to one of their calls, and I heard leadership talking about how they're going to go. They have no fucking clue what they're talking about. But you want to impact people's world because you don't get it, and you expect them to get it and everything, but you don't want to invest back into and training your own people. But in the same ideal, you want to go win that fucking contract.
Yeah,
everything. It is both and. It is enterprises that's going to fuck it up. There's startups that's going to fuck it up and everything. My problem is when the enterprise is in, you don't want to take accountability. You want to point the finger at the people below and everything. But I hear the conversations. I've heard conversations on the panel. I've seen the way you even write your news and everything. You don't know fucking clue what you're talking about. Everything. But you want to go impact somebody's lives below you and everything and point the finger and everything. That's your responsibility to train them. That is your responsibility. And you don't want to take accountability, and you want to just move on, but you also want to go win that contract and everything and say you can go do X, Y, and Z. You're full of shit. Everything. But in the same aspect, it also can be a startup too as well. Yeah. I think it's a both and I think my larger problem, because startups definitely have a capability to figure it out, but they also have a capability to fail to as well. My larger problem with stuff of that is when these companies start to make decisions, do these things or anything, and then you fuckers want to come in and ask for a buyout because you made wrong decisions.
Are we still talking about the government here?
I'm using those as examples of enterprises, industries, and everything. How they keep doing this.
Yeah.
Another example, it's like the airline industry. You did 3 rounds of layoffs, and then you come out and say nobody wants to work. What the fuck are you talking about?
You will never people really have no long-term memory. What I mean? They assume that we don't.
Yeah.
With the way that they will say things like that. You just said something different completely last year. And it's always the finger is always pointed at the worker.
Always,
and
every time.
It's so heartless. Yeah. It's so heartless. But my issue is we're inserting that now into the bureaucracy. Of government.
Yeah.
So we got to go rapid fire and stuff here. We got a few minutes left. Gotcha. Sound AI is introducing the future of voice into AI cars. It says that recent study shows that 77% of drivers are going to be open to using an AI-powered voice capabilities within their automobiles. It said it will have a brand personalities. They will allow automakers to customize voice assistants to match their brand identity. Companies can create unique AI personas to enhance user engagements, for brand loyalty. Guys, we should also right here with the voice and everything. Let's do a 30-second both each, and then we'll close out stuff here.
All right, cool. I think that this is one of the examples of job creation through AI. The work of making an brand identifiable voice AI agent. I imagine BMWs is going to sound like James Bond. Mercedes is going to sound like, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking a woman. I'm thinking like Helen Mirren or something.
I'm thinking Transformer because it's always breaking down. Anyway,
I feel like GM's gonna sound like Mr. T.
Oh, GM's definitely Mr. T.
Right?
Yeah,
definitely. I think this is interesting. I think the having a unique persona is going to be the same thing as having your unique infotainment system, right? They're going to be easy ways to identify that, hey, this is a Hyundai or something like that. I don't know. It feels more nuanced. I feel like this is a neat thing to add on top of something that they're building.
Do you think there'll be specialists, people that specialize in doing that?
I think so. I think there'll be someone specialized. The voice is simplified though. So you're gonna need someone to maybe, Oh, what do you need them for? What do you need?
I don't know how to do this job. I don't know how they would even. I don't know how to start.
Here's my thing. Everything, and we'll close out and stuff here. I think this is the area of fab. I think it's a level 1 application. Everything. It's basically you're giving the personality. I mean, Amazon already started doing this. They start putting Alexa in the cars. Everything. So basically, you're talking about voice control. Turn on the AC. Turn down the AC. Turn on the fan. Play my favorite song. Everything and stuff like that. But the ability to go from voice to operation of the car, everything. I don't trust nobody to figure it out outside of Tesla.
No, definitely not.
No. All right.
Yeah.
So guys, welcome to season 2.
Yeah,
man. This is EP1. We're gonna add a bonus episode and stuff here too. Pretty soon. We did a live podcast.
A lot of fun
yesterday down in Miami, and we had a live audience questions.
Great questions.
Great questions.
Oh yeah.
And so that was fun. So there'll be a bonus episode, maybe even episode 2. We'll figure it out stuff later and everything. But man, welcome to season 2. I'm gonna close out and stuff here, man. Again, I am Marlon Avery on all social media platforms, and then also too, the podcast is AI with Friend podcast on all platforms too as well.
Yeah, Adrian Green. You can find me Adrian_Poupon, all platforms. Hit me up. Any questions? I would love to, hear what you have to say.
Yeah, you can follow me on Sekou the Wise. I'm on all platforms, and also our Discord. Come on and join in. We definitely welcome any questions and love having in-depth talk with folks. Yep. So, and hey, we'll show you how to jump on ChatGPT Pro without having to spend as much money. So,
this is AI with Friends.
Yeah,
if you want to become AI with family, join the Discord. All
right.
Until next time. We are out.
All right. Peace.
Peace.